Okay.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to do this special interview with my friend Jodi Yauch today. It's so great to have her with us. As you can see, she's a certified holistic intuitive school. She is actually training people to learn how to use their intuition. And we've talked about that quite a bit here. And so I want to make sure that you know that there's people that are doing this training, and Jodi's one of them, and she's awesome. What a heart. And we were just having this very free ranging discussion. I'm like, we've got to record this. So people can know that we're having these kind of talks between healers. This is something that we do with each other, and you can do it too. So thank you for being here with me today, Jodi. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Would you tell us your story a little bit first so we know who and what you're all about?
Yes, absolutely. So several years ago, I got really, really sick. I had a mass on my liver. I had 2 growths in my chest monitored for cancer, seizure activity in the brain. I would get lost in the town that I grew up in, and I couldn't follow a conversation to save my life. Now, at the time, I was a computer programmer, and really successful at what I did. I had a beautiful home. I had the American dream, and I ended up becoming very sick, and as a result of that, I ended up losing my job, and consequently, I lost my home. And I remember, feeling like everything I had worked my entire adult life for was gone just like that. And I remember dropping to my knees and crying out to God for answers, and just really like feeling so devastated. And God, what is it that I have to do or see or learn to get on with my life? Because I refuse to be sick like this forever. I had kind of been given a life sentence by my doctors that I would be sick forever, and I just didn't accept that for my life. In that prayer session, I received the guidance to go to India and kind of take a trip around the globe. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to get to India? I literally have no money. I'm so sick. And I received this guidance, just take one step forward and the rest of it will fill in. So I went and I applied for a visa to India, and true to life, somebody gifted me an airline ticket to India. And I was told in that session, I just had this knowing that if I went on this trip, I would heal completely. And so I trekked off to India, and I traveled around India for a year, and I studied with people, and I gained some skills. I became a Reiki master teacher. I became a meditation facilitator, mindfulness facilitator. And throughout that time, I grew into this woman that I was always meant to be. And probably for the first time in my entire life, I was able to finally look in the mirror, even with no makeup, and actually see the beauty in my own reflection. And so I came back to the United States, and I was amazed to find that going through all of this kind of spiritual healing is what I call. I went to the doctors, and testing showed that there was no mass on my liver, no growth on my thyroid, and the growths in my chest had shrunk to just dense material. And the last time I saw my neurologist was in 2013, when I shook his hand and he said, "It's been nice knowing you." And so it's just such a great testimony to the power of spiritual healing. So I went on, when my family physician gave me the test results, she said, "There's no scientific explanation for this. The only true healing is spiritual healing." And so in that moment, I dedicated my life to spiritual healing. And then I went on to create Certified Holistic Intuitive School. And that is, here we are today.
That it's so great. There's so many different little themes in there. I'm like, yep. Mm-hmm. One of them is being able to look at yourself and love yourself just the way you are.
Yes.
Big. We've talked about this so much. The other is to be led and allow your intuition to lead you where you need to go. The other thing is not being a victim and saying, well, I'm not going to accept that that's the way it is, but I am going to accept that there's stuff that I can learn about myself through this experience. And then the trust that you had to just go ahead and start making a step forward, just one step forward, and things start to come in. So we talk a lot about, one little change changes everything. And it doesn't really matter, how that shows up, but it does matter that you take the step. So being in action makes a huge difference as well.
Yes.
And I just am so grateful that we know this about you, and that this is something that's so similar, having been through the stillbirth experience and also later losing our home. It's very interesting how these things show up. And can you stay out of grief and sadness long enough to say, but what could I learn from this? What could I learn from this? What am I being taught here? What am I being shown? Makes a huge difference. And sometimes that's the hardest part. What I talk about a lot in spiritual healing is that we're energy first, and then we become physical. We're not physical and then give off energy. We're not like a radiator. We're more like a transmitter and receiver. And so in this energy state that we're in, why not just go there and do the healing there, which is what you did.
Actually, so for me, it came in layers, and this is a part of what I teach, is that I felt like as I was going through these experiences, it really took a total of about 3 years, but it was all inner guided. And I learned that we have these layers to our being. And the first layer for me was the physical layer. And I had to learn how to take care of that physical part of myself. How do I nurture and feed this physical part of me? Right. And then there came the emotional, mental layer. And then of course the energetic layer that you speak about, and then the spiritual layer. And a part of that spiritual layer was really finding my purpose, right? It was finding my purpose. Like that was the last piece, that when that piece kind of landed in, it was just like poof, everything changed. So I feel like it's like a culmination of all of those, and it all starts with awareness.
Yeah. And what I want to remind people is that was Jodi's path. And that's great for her, but it's not always going to happen like that for everybody. It's not going to be that the physical is the first and the spiritual is the last. In fact, right now I'm going through a change with bringing more physical into the spiritual. And, none of these things can really be separated until death. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about what order you're going in. All we're saying is like, allow yourself to be led to where you need to be. And to that end, you're doing something on Monday. So tell us about what's happening on Monday.
Yes. So Monday I am having this event, and great point that it's not always a linear experience, right?
That's the way our little brains have to think of it. Think about like 5th or 6th grade science when you learn systems in the body. Well, they're not separated.
No.
Study them. And that's the understanding most people have of how things work. But here's the part that they leave out, is like your emotions are creating your physiology, and it's all subconscious. So there you go. Anyway, I talk more about that and what I do, but tell us about Monday.
Cool. Very cool. So Monday I am having an event. It is for women on a mission to transform lives. That could be a mission to transform your own life or to transform others' lives. This is an event where we are going to come together in a healing sacred space, and we're going to have a relax into a meditative state so that you can connect deeply to your inner wisdom, which is, I feel like, the key to everything. It's what guided me back to health. And then we're going to do a little bit of energy work around releasing energetic blocks. And from there, we're going to realign with your vision so that you're crystal clear on your next steps to create a life and business that you truly love. So after that, we'll have a little bit of journaling time and group discussion, because really what I want to create with this is just this experience of sisterhood. It is for women only. And it is just a safe place for you to come and let your hair down and allow yourself a space of being present with yourself.
And it's going to be on Zoom, is that correct?
Yes, it is Zoom. It is not going to be recorded. It is not going to be streamed to Facebook. It is not, there will not be a replay. So truly a safe space. And so how do you get there? If you just go to loveyoubetrue.com.
We'll put a link up underneath this too.
Yeah.
So
And there's a few questions to fill out. And then once you fill out the questions, click the button, and then it's going to send you an email to confirm your quote unquote subscription. And what I mean by subscription is I can't send you the Zoom link until you do that confirmation. So once the confirm is there, the Zoom link will come and you can come and join us in sisterhood and healing. Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited for you to do this. And it's only going to be a couple of hours, isn't it? It's not like a whole day.
No, not a whole day. It starts at 6 p.m. Central Time. It's the first time I've done this, so I think it'll be about 2 hours. The healing energy part, meditative part itself, I think will be about an hour, and then we'll have the journaling. And for those people who are interested, I will have a little conversation at the end about this healing methodology. But if people are not interested, my feelings will not be hurt. My goal is to create impact in a way that just allows people that healing space. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to share what Jodi's doing with you because our giveaway is on Wednesday. We're starting it on Wednesday, and Jodi's going to be part of that too. So you'll be able to access more of her that day as well, and following. But I wanted to have this conversation in front of you all because we have these conversations between the two of us and other healers too. And it's important for you to see what we talk about and how we language this stuff, because I just had somebody come in recently who said, well, the person who referred me said that you were going to fix everything and I wouldn't have to tell you anything. And I said, well, that's not really true. That's not exactly how we do this. It's not a psychic mind reading thing. It's about helping you find you. It's about helping you love you, because there's so much love in there that we haven't even tapped into yet. And it's an endless well of blessings. And I talked about this so much, and not becoming a victim and being a learner instead, and getting those blessings because you're open to them. It's when we close it off, we don't want to deal with it. It's too much, it's too much, it's too much, it's too heavy, it's too this. You're just leaving out all the good stuff too. So we're talking about receiving what you have already within you. It's not like we have to go out there and get it. And Jodi is making this safe space for us to come to on Monday evening. And we're both in the Midwest. So this is not some East Coast, West Coast thing. We're both here in the Midwest. And we've decided this is where we're going to be for now. And why not? Why not? There's so much here for us. I'm so glad to have you on my team, Jodi, and helping me move forward too in my spiritual work, and also in helping others, because you know what we're doing is we're creating this mass consciousness of peace and healing, and going within to find the healer that's within us. And we'll be doing more of that too here. So I want you to just be aware of what's going on around you. You know, many people turn on the television and they read the news, or they hear the news on the radio, or they're involved in that. And their motto in news is, if it bleeds, it leads. And we want to say the opposite. If it heals, it's where you need to be. That's where you need to be, in the present, healing, doing healing, because that's helping everybody heal. Remember, everything flows above, down, inside out. So as you're working on yourself and healing yourself, as we all do, there's no end game here, really. If you wanted to have a goal, it would be that the world is healing, that the earth is healing, so that we don't have to all get in spaceships and go to some other planet that doesn't really exist. Or maybe it does. I don't know. My favorite bumper sticker is, I might be wrong. I don't know. So we want to just be able to live here peacefully and lovingly. And we have so much going on right now that is not that. And we don't want to put emphasis on that. We want to put emphasis on what we want, not what we don't want. So this would be a great way for you to do that, right? It'd be a great way, because you have to work on yourself first, and then you can help others with their oxygen masks. Remember that one. So Jodi, thank you so much for your intuitive, loving heart, and how much you want to help people. And it's just wonderful to have this conversation with you. And remember about Monday, I'll put the link underneath here. I'll probably just go ahead and post this raw right into the group, because I want you to get this information. And, you know, who cares if it's beautiful or not, because you have two beautiful souls here that want you to feel that kind of love for yourself too.
And a group of beautiful souls who will be watching.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Jodi. I'm
Thank
so
you,
glad
Carol.
for
Yeah.
you to be here today, and we'll get together real soon on Monday. Thanks.
Okay.